Peace, Philly. So today I'm up here and I'm going to be talking about communication. You know what I'm saying? Communication. You know what I'm saying? We do it every single day, all day, 24/7, whether we speaking it verbally or non-verbally, you know what I'm saying? Or whether we doing it with our body language. But it's a big factor that we take all three into account, you know what I'm saying? On top of how we feel spiritually when we're communicating, because your feelings are part of the communication as well. If something feels off, then it's gonna kind of rearrange how you communicate with that being, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's more so important for us to get to not communicating with newer beings, but communicating with beings that we already have relationships established with, and we want to elevate the communication. You know, we don't want to be in a stagnant place or a checkmate place, you know what I'm saying? We kind of want to be in a position to where we can raise our vibration while raising the communication, you know what I'm saying? So if you communicate with somebody and you're constantly doing this right here, that's not effective communication, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even call that communicating. That's just kind of spilling words out, you know what I'm saying? So communication is going to have a direction. It's going to be a point A to a point B. It's going to have a beginning to an end, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's a to be continued or not is completely different, but communication is always, for the most part, in the healthy standpoint, is always going to be very clear. Whether you like it or not is completely different, you know what I'm saying? You're not always going to agree with somebody else's standpoint or views, you know what I'm saying? We all see life through a different lens. Yes, we may all see the same objects, but it's still through a different lens, you know what I'm saying? So, like, when we communicating with people these days, for me, I'm usually mindful of the subjects I'm speaking of and how I present my energy, which normally I'm presenting it as me, it's just organic me, but I want to make sure that when I'm communicating with people, especially people that I already got relationships established with, that even if I'm going through something, I'm trying to give them more and better energy than what I'm giving myself, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of bad on the flip side, because you should be giving yourself more, but you know, I've always been a giver. We all got different roles and different paths out here in this universe, you know what I'm saying? So, but I just understand me. So for me, when I communicate with people now, and like, and I don't even want to say like my mom and all these other people, because when I come across and understand that somebody is toxic and they don't really want no good for me or have good intentions for me, I cut that shit the fuck off. When I say I cut that shit the fuck off, I cut that shit the fuck off. That shit is cut all the way off. I don't give a fuck who you are. Like, I move with the higher power in the universe, so I don't never run around doing ill intentions to people, so it's easy to cut that and not have to worry about communication over there. But when I'm communicating with other people and I'm raising my vibration, I make sure, like, if we having a basic conversation, I just ran into somebody or I'm talking to somebody that I deal with on a regular basis, you know, we might bump over the basic bullshit, what color is the sky shit, and then we might touch base on some shit that's happened, but it's always flipped back to something productive and positive. At the end of every conversation, you want to make that thing as productive and possible, as productive as possible, you know what I'm saying? You want to flip it full cycle. Don't let that shit stay stagnant the entire time, because what happens is a lot of people use that shit to transfer energy. You know what I'm saying? Since I know energy transfer, I'm not going to hit somebody with a bunch of my shit and then just be like, and leave it at that. Like, I feel better. Yes. But now this person may feel worse because I just dropped all this shit on them. So if I'm going to drop this shit on them and they don't know how to cycle it back around, so that way it's not just transferred to them, I have to show them how to, which is directing the conversation. And what I realize now is a lot of people don't like when conversation get directed. They get very quiet. They get very standoffish. all the signs, the body language changes, you know, the feeling changes, like everything changes when you trying to communicate with somebody and move the conversation in a more productive manner. You know what I'm saying? Some people want to stay in la la land, some people want to stay distracted. But in order to have effective communication, you have to have clarity. Simple process, and the universe is very clear. It's only the demonic forces that like to maneuver in the manipulative areas and the gray area and do all that weird shit. I just call all that shit weird shit because there's a lot of fuck shit that they do, and I just call all that shit weird. But in order to stay in the effective communication area, you have to make sure you're being very clear. And sometimes that shit is hard with them because you know what you may say sometimes may hurt somebody else. But if these are the only words that you know of until you get a bigger vocabulary, then you have to use the words available to you and learn how to compensate for that. If you only know how to use cornbread and cornbread really hurts somebody, then motherfucking make sure you say fucking Lego after, if that is something that makes them feel softer. You know what I'm saying? So that way you saying what you have to say, but you also changing the tone and the tempo of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just using these words because these is all I know how to use, but this isn't really the intention behind it. But when you don't do these things and take these extra steps, then for me, I'm automatically going to have to put you on the ops team. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to automatically assume, oh, fuck, here we go again. But for other people, it may not be the case, you know what I'm saying? But it ain't been too many times where I ran into it and that wasn't the case. That's usually always the case. Because other people, normal, healthier people, are going to try to get some clarity. So they're going to re-ask you some questions for clarification. And other motherfuckers isn't going to want no clarification. It's not going to be anything clear over there. So, only thing you're going to get clear over there is how they feel and what they would like. But, and I say that because we have to understand that too, because even trying to have healthy communication, you're going to run into beings, or you're already dealing with beings that don't want to learn healthy communication tactics. You know what I'm saying? They want to stay in the field, in the space of where they at. So you have to know how to distinguish these motherfuckers when communicating, so you know not to give or put out too much energy. If somebody talking about some shit that was going on with them and you trying to give them some ideas or solutions and they don't really want to hear it, then you don't have to say or give any more energy, because they just want to sit in that frequency. It's very clear. Or they would be trying to listen and take some advice and take the steps, or come back to information just to kind of throw ideas back and forth off each other. This shit is getting pretty fucked up and tricky out here, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot more people be coming in tune and that's understanding these things, but it's a lot that don't care. They don't give a fuck. It's not that they don't understand, it's that motherfuckers don't care. There's too many tools out here for you not to know. Too many. Too fucking many. You could type in, I don't trust Google, but Google will take you to other websites that you can trust. You can type in and ask questions, you know what I'm saying? YouTube. I don't trust the platform, but I trust the people who use the platform. You have to use your own intuition, your own quote-unquote discernment, you know what I'm saying? But you have to understand that you are that voice and you make those decisions. Every day you waking up making choices. So whether you want to be effective in your communication or ineffective in your communication, just know that it's up to you whether they get better or not. It don't matter if you're going to look into a bunch of healthy tactics if you're not using them or applying them. You could tell me, yeah, I'm a vegan, but if you can't give me nothing in depth or details, then I'm assuming that that could just be a cover-up. You know what I'm saying? Or you could be like, hey, I work out, I go to the gym. Well, if you don't really explain to me what kind of workouts you do, or you know, the times that you go and all these things, and I'm gonna assume that that's just part of a cover-up. It's a lot of blanketing, it's a lot of face masks, it's a lot of face painting, it's all kind of weird shit. So when you dealing with the spirit, you don't even have to worry about the physical body. All of that shit is null and void. It holds no weight. So it don't matter how much makeup you put on your face. It don't matter fucking what kind of extensions niggas want to put in their hair, or what kind of shoes they feel like they need on their feet, or what kind of jewelry they feel like they need. Like, all that shit is null and void when you're dealing with the spirit. Like, I can read through all that shit. And most people that's in tune with themselves gonna be able to read through all that shit. And usually most people that's in tune, I have never ran into one person that was in tune that wasn't effective with their communication. Every single one that I ran into have been super effective, highly effective in their communication. Every single one, 100%. Haven't met one. Not saying that they ain't had their own trials and tribulations, but effective communication is like self-awareness. It's something that you work on daily. Practice, so the more and more you do it, the better you become at it. So we have to take these tactics and we have to use these and apply these shits to our everyday fucking life. Not just sit there and watch something and say, oh yeah, oh I saw it, I got it. But then you get the video off and then you go out and you doing something and you just using your regular tactics. It's not how it works. And you're not going to get to where you trying to go to that way if you're trying to go to a better place. Nah, you're going to get to the other place, wherever that other place may be, if that's what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's keep grinding, let's keep growing, let's keep perfecting this, you know, better communication and doing what we got to do out here to make ourselves healthier and to help each other become healthier, you know what I'm saying, and move in our highest vibrations. You know what I'm saying? Like, peace and love is something that's within, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to find that shit outside of you. You know what I'm saying? I'm your boy TrakBeatz. Y'all make sure y'all tap into everything down below, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be doing this shit consistently. Peace and love to the guys and queens.